Welcome to Meeting 7 of the Delta Tau Delta New Member Education Pilot Program. My name is Dave Sullivan, and I will be walking you through Meeting 7 Aspiration. During we will cover the Retivirus, we will help you prepare your members for initiation, and you'll conduct the fraternity examination. So how we got to this point within the Member Education Pilot Program was really framed within the first meeting. First meeting, you talked about how your expectation of membership, that it's more about what it takes to be a man of Delta Tau Delta rather than just a good pledge. A lot of pledge education programs just focus on making good pledges and not good members. And so therefore, everything that has to be finished by this meeting is what it would be to be a great member of your chapter or a great member of Delta Tau Delta. So at this point, you should be ready for initiation. You can do meeting 7 and meeting 8 back to back. You could do them one day and then the next day, or you could wait a week. It just depends on your campus and what your circumstances call for. But meeting 7 and meeting 8 do both call for alumni participation. And that is, we are a lifelong membership organization. So by having alumni present during initiation ceremonies, we make sure that that message is being sent from day one of being a member of Delta Tau Delta. So at the meeting, before you start, you have to make sure that you have their initiation fee in full, it's given to the treasurer, and then you're ready to turn in their initiation card, or I guess it's now done online. Make sure you're ready to pay that. We can initiate members unless we receive their fees. The other requirements of initiation must be met. So they go through at least the 5 expectations of membership, that they've recruited somebody else, they know how recruitment works, so when next semester or next quarter rolls around, they're ready to participate in the fraternity recruitment process. They have to attain a GPA of 2.5 or higher. Now I realize that most of the new members you'll be initiating, you won't have their grades, but this is something that you need to work with your academic affairs chair on, making sure that members maintain a high scholastic ability, scholastic GPA, and that you're striving to be the #1 chapter on your campus as far as grades are concerned. Out of that, other things that these expectations, again, of creating members and not great pledges, so they attended 90% of chapter meetings, that they've attended all chapter retreats, initiations, and ceremonies, they've attended at least one brotherhood event, can do at least 5 hours of community service, participated in at least one intramural sport, participated in at least one community within the chapter, because we want active involvement, and then be involved in one outside organization. And that helps with your product placement of members across your campus with recruitment as well. Other aspects are more, you need to ensure that these happen, behave in accordance with all the rules of fraternity, not bring shame, disorder. So if somebody's brought to the honor board, they're probably eligible for membership. But you be very firm on these policies. Whatever you allow now will become an issue down the road. So if you don't address drunkenness now while they're a new member, it will become an issue down the road. You'll make sure that the men we are initiated into the fraternity are a good moral representation of what Delta Tau Delta means, a good moral representation of your chapter, and they're not going to embarrass you or the fraternity on your campus. So meeting 7 starts with the Retivirus. This book, or the Purple Book, make sure that this ceremony is conducted in the best way possible. Memorize, you've practiced it a couple times, and you're ready to go through flawlessly. This ceremony is also one of our open ceremonies, so you can invite parents to this, you can invite administrators, anybody who's been supporting your new members throughout the process. It's very helpful to share this experience with them so they know that the fraternity is just a part of their lives outside of the new member education process. Once you finish the Retivirus ceremony, you can begin, like most of your meetings, with the recitation of the Dell Creed. Be fully memorized by this point, and after that, you can read the italicized part. A lot of this is written. We would appreciate it if you could read this to them. Hopefully you've memorized it and you can kind of paraphrase what you're talking about. But the idea is that you're taking them through the Retivirus ceremony. You're helping do a real education, and you're helping them with these processing questions. So what does the central light of aspiration represent in the ceremony? What light of aspiration represented in their lives, etc. Going through all of those questions. The idea is that you really focus on the first true man is unconquerable. He dreams, he sees visions. The attainment of any goal, however difficult, however glorious, is but the earnest of greater achievement still to come. Always he sees beyond what is into what is to be. And it's a statement of aspiration. And we really want members to hone in on that. Really focus on what does it mean to have aspirations in your dreams, future careers, future families, and accomplishments, whether within the fraternity or beyond their undergraduate years. And so from there, use a story from Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, just as a way to kind of convey what aspiration looks like. This is outlined in the participant workbook. All of this is about reflection and personal reflection. Because at this point in the new member process, they should have a good understanding of the fraternity, but a lot of it is about personal reflection. And so as they go through that, they'll write they'll answer the different questions in their participant workbook that you've printed out for them, and you'll help them walk through this whole idea, or help them kind of understand the Rite of Iris and what it means to them on a personal level. Help them break down what the 7 principles mean to them, how they live their lives by those principles, or maybe they need to start adhering to those principles in daily actions. Once you get through all of that, that will hopefully silently in a reflection and very reverent fashion to the gavel pass. And all the gavel passes, these should be getting a little bit more deeper, a little bit more serious as you get closer. And I advise you just to use the text that is written there and then walk them through. Have each one explain, what the Rite of Iris means, Viktor Frankl's quote, and it's a great opportunity for them to do reflection with everybody in their pledge class. So from there, you'll go through those 3. And once the gap pass, this is going to be the deepest one you have because there are 3 questions. It may bring out things that people haven't talked about before, but you're going deeper and deeper into that emotional connection and what really ties us together as brothers. So you finished the 3rd question. What are your hopes for this chapter? What will you give back to Delta Delta? Finish that part of the gavel pass. I encourage you to keep a scene of reverence as you get into the fraternal exam. This is where you will hand out the exam. In your participant packet, it references 3 parts of the exam. We are currently working that, and that will be ready for next semester. But give them the exam that you have, and you get it in classroom format. And then they have finished it, they will prepare to meet with alumnus. This is what probably will be different for you, and we felt this would give a strong enough message of the importance of the exam as well as preparing for initiation. And some things that you can know and recite back and write down in the test, like the Founding Fathers, true courage, faith, power, the mission, the values, and all of that. There are things that just need to be explained. What does Delta to mean to you on a personal level? And so during that one-on-one meeting with an alumnus, stress that it's an alumnus, either an advisor or a true alumnus from your advising team. Trust this alumnus to stay within the values of the fraternity, not to incorporate any foolishness or anything that would violate the risk management policies of the fraternity, but really looking to the script that is outlined here. It may be better, to read through this. Each one-on-one meeting shouldn't take any longer than 15 minutes. Depending on the size of the new member class, you could probably get other additional alumni to help with this part. But read the script as it is written. Don't add anything else. Maybe you stick to it because this has been written intentionally to have a desired outcome that will be beneficial for your chapter. So as they go into the room, a room set up where it's dark and there are 3 unlit tapers on a table with an alumnus to one side and the Neophyte to the other. And then they come in, you'll enter the room silently and find the alumnus waiting at the table. The alumnus will be holding a single lighted taper, which will help with the lighting of the other candles. So use the Neophyte to sit in the chair and be comfortable. This is already set up irreverent scene, so you don't have to make it any more or less formal than what it is. So have them down and invite them. You say, my friend, you have pledged yourself to the task of learning the values, principles, and mission of Delta Tau Delta. Your task undoubtedly has led you to question your personal beliefs and has challenged you to change your behaviors unbecoming of gentlemen and that of Delta Tau Delta. You've taken the fraternal exam. However, the meaning and embodiment of what Delta Tau Delta is, this is much more than just a memorization of dates, names, and facts, but rather something that is lived in practice daily. Question 1. Recite the Dell Creed. As Neophyte recites the Dell Creed, you will light the first taper after it completes the first stanza, the second, and then the third, just like the new member pledging ceremony that they experienced when they first started this journey to become a member of Delta Tau Delta. They finished the Dell Creed. That's the next question. In words, what does the Dell Creed mean to you? This is an opportunity for the new member to express what they've been thinking about, and they most likely will have very similar answers if they've gone through the new member education program as written. But it's another opportunity for them to realize their beliefs of Delta Tau Delta. By expressing it one-on-one, rather than group or on a piece of paper, they're able to put it out to an alumnus what Delta means to them and help them prepare for initiation. Next question is, what do the values represented in the red iris and the principles of truth, courage, and power mean to you? Again, same question 2. It's an opportunity for them to say briefly or very eloquently what they believe the fraternity is about. Question 4, what dissatisfies you about your fellow brothers and new members? What do you do to help them grow and help this chapter excel? 4 really hits at the point in the charge where we are asked to help our brothers and help them make all of their weaknesses. So that's what question 4 is hitting at. Probably things in the chapter there that they are dissatisfied with and they want to improve. This is an opportunity for them to really believe that they can change things in the fraternity and move it forward, so that we are the recognized leader for excellence on your campus. 5 is, how will you grow the temple of Delta Tau Delta? What acts of daily service will you give to her each and every day? So again, we're getting some more language that will be familiar to them once they go through initiation. But again, how are they growing Delta Tau Delta? What are they doing, and what are they giving back to Delta Tau Delta each day? At the end, the alumnus will thank them and tell them they're nearing the close to the beginning of their journey on the road, the path open to the chosen, the men of Delta Tau Delta. Finally, you will rejoin your fellow neophytes. Take time to reflect personally and deeply upon your conversation while leading up to your initiation. So at that point, you will lead them back to the rest of the member class, have them reflect silently on what they've just experienced. Once you finish the final interview, we'll go back a little bit. Upon completing that interview, the alumnus will give the neophyte instructions for ritual, time, date, and location where to meet. Very transparent. You should, like, initiation is going to be at this point, at this place. Tomorrow you need to dress this suit and tie, or coat and jacket, or fit and tie, or whatever they have. And know if there's any celebratory dinner or reception afterwards that they can invite their parents to. This information should have been relayed to the parents of the new members during the first week. The idea is you have a level of transparency that puts their parents at ease, but also includes them in the fraternity process. It is important at this point that no activity happens outside what has been discussed or described here. The time between meeting 7 and meeting 8, which is ritual, is meant to be a time of inner reflection, and so you neophyte to complete the pre-initiation guided reflection activities in their manual. And you can, unlike the other meetings, there is no Delta shelter. The Delta shelter that they should experience should be after initiation. And so that concludes meeting 7. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at sullivandd@gmail.com. Again, you can reach me at sullivandd@gmail.com, SULLIAND@gmail.com. Thank you again, and good luck with your meeting 7.